First, I'm going to comment that YouTube in this movie was a pain in the ass, as the video would freeze randomly, but the audio would keep going, and trying to rewind or leave the video and come back never worked. So that was a bitch, but it's not going to affect my thoughts on the movie. That has its own can of worms. Now we know that the New 52 movies that started with Justice League Flashpoint Paradox back in 2013 started a whole movie universe that ran for 16 films, ending with Justice League Apocalypse War in 2020. But the effects of that universe are felt in this movie. After Constantine had Barry run back in time to change the outcome of the universe, we were brought to a new universe of films known as the Tomorrowverse, starting with Superman, Man of Tomorrow in 2020. This universe, however, only ran for 6 films. 7 if you want to count Batman the Long Halloween as 2, with its conclusion happening in the enormous story Crisis on Infinite Earth, which Part 1 just came out. Here's my problem with it. There's not enough established characters for this 3-parter. Now, the reason for this universe's short existence, from what I've gathered, is because James Gunn wants to make the whole of his DC Universe run adventures interconnected with his live-action movies, animated movies, and possibly shows and comics as well. And that's fine, but the Tomorrowverse took a big hit for it, as we're given characters that comic fans know well of, but have no establishment in these films. We're introduced to characters like Ted Kord's Blue Beetle, The Question, Amazing Man, Robin, and Huntress. We have no establishment for them to care about them. I know from my history of comic books that Robin and Huntress are this movie's version of pre-Crisis Earth 2 Robin and Huntress, as Robin is around the same age as the Batman of Earth 1 in this film, and he hasn't taken the mantle of Nightwing or Batman. And Huntress is Helena Wayne, daughter of Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle. Is that cool? Of course, yes it is. Does it help me care about these specific characters in this story? No. Because we've never seen these characters go through experiences with their Batman and how he treated them or raised them. We do know they love and respected him, as thinking of their Bruce does bring sadness because they miss him, but we don't know how their Bruce died. I mean, I know how he did in the comics, but that's neither here nor there. We're also not given much time to be around these characters, as we spend most of the movie hopping from different points in time and reality with the Flash. We go from the lab accident, to meeting Iris, fighting the Amazo robot, to Earth 3 with the crime syndicate, back to the Monitor's base. We're not really given a chance to catch our breaths with how much moving around we do. It almost feels like we are the Flash with this moving around. Now, some of this is from Barry, but a few are from the Homeless Man, which, let's be honest, is just John Constantine. You can hear it in the voice, and later we see him use magic against the crime syndicate. Constantine has taken the role of Pariah from the original story, who was also changed to a version of Harrison Wells in the CW version of the story. Kel Mossa is never going to get an adaptation, it seems. We also find out that Harbinger is also different, as normally she's Lila Michaels, but here she's Kara Zor-El, Supergirl. Because this movie jumps around so much, you can't get excited to see what the characters will do in action scenes, as just when they start doing something cool, we switch to a scene that's just dialogue between Barry and some other character like Iris, Ivo, or Amazo. It halts all progression, and it's not easy to get back into the groove of an action scene when a few minutes later we're back to a slow scene. This movie isn't bad, but the way it's structured makes it hard to keep people's attention. So, I hope that parts 2 and 3 will be better and we can follow the structure of a story beginning, middle, and end instead of jumping around like a kid hopped up on 10 pounds of sugar. But I just wish now that they had done this story with the previous universe, as we had already established those characters and grew to care about them on a personal level. We could have really followed Raven and Damian's love through this crisis instead of a Darkseid-driven one. We could have brought back the pre-Flashpoint versions of the Justice League. There could have been a better emphasis that Barry was at fault for this crisis, and his sacrifice to save the multiverse gets him his redemption. And we get to see Wally take on the mantle of the Flash to honor and respect his mentor and uncle. I mean, we saw him in the Judas Contract movie flashback. They could have expanded more on him. We could have seen Bruce and Damian actually show father and son love to each other through combat and not Damian's charred corpse. We could have gotten a revelation that Lois was pregnant with John Kent, giving Superman even more of a reason to fight harder than he ever had before. We could have seen an older Billy Batson and saw how his progression would have changed from Justice League War to a Crisis on Infinite Earth story. There were so many directions that a Crisis on Infinite Earths movie set in the previous universe would have gone. But the Tomorrowverse is being treated like the DCEU. But at least we got a standalone Batman movie with this universe, unlike that one. We don't get much of an establishment for these characters. Hell, the Justice League is formed in this movie, and it was to get Amazo to attack them, and after that, we don't know how long the League was formed before John Stewart's Green Lantern joins. Yeah, he was in this for a second. We only know that the League formed, at some point John joined, and on the day of Barry and Iris' wedding, Batman and Superman were on Warworld with Earth 2 Wonder Woman, who apparently doesn't even have an Earth 1 counterpart, or we weren't given a chance to see one with the universe ending before going to the Monitor's ship, building, home, whatever, and getting more heroes, and as far as I know, one villain from other Earths. Seeing all these heroes in the Monitor's base makes me want to know more about the ones we never heard speak, and hope that they have bigger roles in the next movies. Even if I know not all of them will survive the Anti-Monitor, making me care about them emotionally will drive the stakes of me wanting them to survive more, and be sad when they inevitably die from antimatter, shadow demons, or the Anti-Monitor himself. My hope with the upcoming Gunverse is we can get a multiverse of movies that don't need to fall under the same veil. I'd love to see movies done in a golden age style. 1930s to 40s tech, outfits, the works. Some in the Silver Age where you can be campy and don't need to take things so seriously. Where the stakes aren't, oh, the Joker is a bomb filled with his toxin and if Batman can't stop it, Gotham will be covered in it. Or Brainiac's here to take Metropolis and blow up the Earth. Can Superman save us? No, I want the stakes to be on a baseball game or Joker trying to sell his fish. Screw it, give me Lex Luthor stealing 40 cakes. You have a whole multiverse of stories you can tell and have fun with it. But that's just me. Let me know what you thought of the film. Was it good? Was it bad? Do you not care? Leave a comment and let me know your thoughts. And while you're at it, click the like and subscribe button so you can get more content from me. Well, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Tune in for the next videos coming up. Have a good day, good evening, whatever your time zone. Bye-bye.